Hello and welcome to the post-game reaction after Borussia Dortmund's 2-1 win against Eintracht Frankfurt. Yes, it was a great, fantastic match to watch. I really loved this game because it's a great advert for the Bundesliga because it's two big teams clashing for the Champions League spots, and we saw really good football as well. I mean, toward the end, not so much, but in between, especially the first half and start of the second half, I thought, especially Eintracht Frankfurt, the hosts, had a lot of footballing quality going for them, and should have arguably scored and won the game because they were clearly the better team today, but that did not mean that they won because there was a bit of a controversial penalty decision that did not go Frankfurt's way, and a lot of shithousery toward the end, and Dortmund were just better and more clinical, taking their chances. So 2-1 for Dortmund. Obviously they jump to third temporarily in the Bundesliga table, but more importantly, I think we just saw a great game, and the reason why the Bundesliga needs to ban all the other plastic clubs because there's so much organic hate flowing through the stadium in Frankfurt, and so many people upset, including the players, and just a great and fun energy. And if two big teams like that clash against each other, play and compete for the Champions League spots, I think there's just so much more at stake. It's for a fan, I think it's just so much more fun to watch than having to compete against teams that are there without merit, like say Leipzig or Leverkusen, etc., etc. So that's my first point of today. But obviously there are a lot of other great things to talk about, and I think we can start with the quotes from Jude Bellingham, who talked to ESPN right after the game, and he did say, quote, "They were the better team, but we showed the strength and the fight that we often lacked this season." And obviously Jude Bellingham did score the winner in the 52nd minute, and obviously he hasn't scored in the first 10 match days, but now I think he is up to 3 goals on his Bundesliga account, and he said, "I was a little annoyed to only score in the cup and not the league, but last week I took my chances, and I did take my chance again today." And about his own performance, he also said, "To be honest, it was not my best game. I felt tired coming into the game. I had a few little knocks and small injuries, but I know that the talent around me that I can always deliver when I get the chance." And I think if we look at Dortmund's positives today is that they were more clinical, and of course that we had a couple of good attacking performances, especially in the first half. I think in the first 15 minutes or so, Frankfurt were very happy with Dortmund having all the possession and all to do, but I think Dortmund were very clever to not risk too much and run into the open knife, if you will. And it was obviously not too exciting for them to just ping it back and forward here and there, but I think this is the right approach. And eventually with a bit of chaos, the game did kick off a bit more and was a bit more fun. And obviously what needs to be praised here is that Daniel Malen finally did a thing. After not really doing much all season, he played the assist for Julian Brandt in the 21st minute. And arguably, Malen could have even had a second assist today because Jude Bellingham was also in the first half, had a very weak touch, but he was through on goal there. But again, a very nicely created goal by Malen, who I think rounded Tuta and then slotted it over to Julian Brandt, who took a touch and then slotted it home with his right foot through the legs of Kevin Trapp. So a very well worked goal, and same with the goal that Frankfurt scored, Daiji Kamada. Obviously with a really nice strike, nothing to save there for Kobel. I think you can argue that Nico Schlotterbeck needs to block it, but he just tried to block the right corner, and Kamada went for the left. So it happens, but I think one of the most more controversial moments obviously was the foul from Adeyemi on, I think it was Lindström, as you can see here, and Frankfurt fans, I'm pretty sure, are not very happy about that. First of all, that's resulted by Schlotterbeck getting beaten by Kolo Muani on the right side. I don't think Schlotterbeck really had his best game today, and it just shows how much individual quality Frankfurt have to just break through again and again. So really well-crafted opportunities that Frankfurt had. And yeah, I think it was a blatant shove by Adeyemi, and VAR should have intervened. I mean, it was a weird and freakish moment anyway, where the ball pinged off the post, and then Süle tried to sort of clear it, but just missed him. And then, yeah, Adeyemi is there shoving Lindström, as you can see here. And to me, it's a slam dunk penalty, and I'm not entirely sure why Dortmund got away with this one. But the refereeing overall was not the greatest, because there were a lot of decisions where I thought, okay, this is not a foul. I'm not sure why you're blowing the whistle here. And then on the other hand, you had a lot of decisions where the whistle stayed silent. And yeah, in the end, I think we had 10 yellow cards, especially a lot with the kerfuffle toward the end, where Reina, Tuta and Trapp got booked, and Jude Bellingham, of course, got booked for some time wasting, and Sebastian Rode got booked after, I think it was a body check from Gio Reyna, which I think was a foul, and then a few moments later, that Süle header, which in my book wasn't a foul, was whistled. But either way, Sebastian Rode still already substituted, yelling at the referee, or the fourth official rather, and getting himself booked. But yeah, what is also very interesting, and what I need to talk about is, of course, right in the build-up toward Dortmund's first goal, we had Luca Pellegrini, who already was on the yellow, elbowing Adeyemi once again in the face. And yeah, obviously, out of that play and the referee playing advantage there, Dortmund did score a goal, but I think a second yellow card could have been warranted there. And I think Frankfurt would rather be a goal down than a man down in this situation. So yeah, would have obviously changed the complexion of the game, especially since it was so early. And you could see that Frankfurt was a better team for, I would say, 75 minutes or so. If we go to understat.com, we then probably see the XG plot of this game. And yeah, if we go to the timing chart here, you can see the biggest chance. I'm not entirely sure who it was, probably Kolo Muani or so, in the 57th and in the 63rd again. And we had a couple of smaller ones in the 80th minute or so. But yeah, I think it was a really good game until up the, I don't know, 65th minute or so, because then you could just see the tiredness, because obviously both teams played Champions League football, and Frankfurt, of course, played on Wednesday and had one day less to recover. And I think that was evident of the quality of play, and obviously all the frustration coming out to the end. You could just see a lot of players shoving each other, getting into each other's faces, and the referee had lost the plot a long time ago already. But I think this makes it all the more fun. You know, obviously it's Frankfurt, who are a great club, who have a massive fan base, and obviously have a very loud stadium, and yeah, that just adds to the experience. And so it makes it all the more sweeter having all this hate for Dortmund, and sneak away with the 3 points, which were obviously not deserving. And yeah, I mean, the key facts here of this game is that Dortmund had another massive performance by Gregor Kobel. Really did not step a foot wrong at all, made huge and spectacular saves. He saved on Renaud Kolo Muani a couple of times. And yeah, Frankfurt obviously can only kick themselves for the finishing. I don't know what the XG plot in the end was, but if we yeah, look at it, yeah, Dortmund really made a lot out of nothing. Sorry, I think you can see it. It's 0.73 according to Understat versus 1.71, and I think Bundesliga has it even a bit different in their model. Yeah, it's 2.3 for Frankfurt. So they really should have, according to XG goals, deserved to win, but obviously it's always taken with a pinch of salt for an individual game. But yeah, my main point remains Gregor Kobel once again, world-class performance for Dortmund. And I think in the same breath, we have to also praise yet another Mats Hummels masterclass, because while his defenders around him struggled a lot, he once again kept his cool, kept his head, and yeah, for the one slip in the end where he bungled over Kolo Muani, or bundled over rather, yeah, and deservedly got a yellow card. I think he almost had a flawless game again. And yeah, kudos to him for keeping a cool head in a very hectic and chaotic game. And you know, if we look at the slips that Dortmund have, Özcan giving the ball away to Mario Götze in prime scoring position, and then Schlotterbeck, I think a few seconds later, basically also slipping and giving up possession, where Frankfurt just should have squared the ball instead of trying to beat Kobel on the near post. It easily should have been 2-2, 3-2 or whatever. So Dortmund very lucky to not be punished for their mistakes. But I think it's also fair to say that the pitch in Frankfurt is not in prime quality. A lot of slipping everywhere, and that did not help. And yeah, obviously a couple of other moments where that were a bit dicey. For example, Niklas Süle shoving Mario Götze a little bit into Gregor Kobel for that claim. That could have also resulted, I don't know if it could have resulted in a penalty, but it surely could have resulted in injury for either Kobel or Götze, and nothing you want to see. So not entirely sure Süle needs to have his arms on Götze there, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is. And so Dortmund come away with the 3 points. And yeah, also another shout out to Julian Brandt, of course, who once again scored the opener, and the commentator on ESPN said, well, every time Julian Brandt scored this season, Dortmund ended up giving away a lead and losing then. So yeah, I'm very happy it did not happen today. And also another shout out to Jude Bellingham, because if you look in stoppage time of him just running tirelessly at you know, the defenders trying to build up the play, and yeah, just running back and forth. It's amazing to see how much hustle he has in him, considering how many minutes are already in his legs. So in that regard, I'm just really happy to have him as a player and as a leader. And yeah, obviously a very interesting decision by Terzic to basically play in a 4-4-2 toward the end, with Bellingham and Modeste being sort of the striker duo, so that Bellingham could press the opponents up high. And of course, in midfield, then you had Özcan and Can, who were playing on a yellow card for a long time, and I was waiting for the whoopsie, but it didn't come. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you enjoyed me rambling for I don't know how many minutes, like almost a quarter hour. But yeah, who cares? It was a fun game. Dortmund undeservedly won. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a few more post-match quotes. So as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.